COVID-19. Why I chose this topic? Actually, about a week back on the WhatsApp, there was very good news, very good news. Everybody was writing that the health system has been excluded from the Consumer Protection Act. And immediately after that, so many messages were coming that this is not true, this is not right, and there is a lot of confusion. And so I thought that this is a topic which should be really discussed. And why I chose Dr. Giten Sharma? Because I have been listening to his medical legal series quite often, and he is really dealing the matters very well. And he's a obstetrician and gynecologist along with a medical counselor, and he's such a gentle person. On one call of mine, he agreed to give his talk on this, and he said, as soon as possible, madam, I am free anytime you can request me. And so I was so happy to have him on this talk. He's such a learned person and with this very important topic. So I welcome him on in this CME.
पल्लवी सब सेट है
And
अच्छा अच्छा मैं किसी और वेबिनार में हूँ अभी 5 मिनट दो मुझको कितनी देर है
board of directors of this
तुमने हमारे मेल पे भेजा जो लिंक है वो मेल पे भेजो लिंक जो है मेल पे भेजो
डॉक्टर मधु लुम्बा
नहीं हमारे
who is the director Madhuraj IVF Center and our patron. Then my Dr. Archana Bhadoria from IMA. She
I believe doctor has got disconnected. So if somebody else wants to take over, they can take over, doctor.
I think Dr. Neelam Misra, ma'am, can you please unmute? You can even continue, ma'am.
I hope Rita ma'am is dead. Dr. Gaurav is there?
No. Ashish ma'am has told even if he is disconnected.
Gaurav is not there. He could not.
Madhuji, to please tell the brief CV of Dr. Giten Sharma, please.
Hello.
Dr. Madhuji, Dr. Madhu Lumba.
Just a minute. Just a minute. She's not there. Neelam.
Rita madam has joined again.
She's not there.
Rita madam has just joined.
She's there. Dr. Lumba is there.
Okay, just wait.
Her voice is not coming.
She
Voice
said she will just attend the meeting. Dr. Archana will do this job. She said she is not going to talk. She is going to listen to the meeting. First, first you introduce Dr. Yashodhara first. Okay? You introduce Dr. Yashodhara first.
Okay. I feel great privileged and honored to introduce Dr. Yashodhara Pradeep, who is the professor and head of Department of Gynae, RMS Medical College, Lucknow. She has many awards. She is a chairperson of and Foxy President Award in 2019. She is vice president of IMS 2018 to 2019. She is having a teaching experience of 35 years. She has got Best Teacher Award from KGMU Lucknow 2016. She is a winner of Best Paper Award of AICOG 2014. She is present president Lucknow Obs and Gynae Society, and she got many awards from PSI, PFI, and ARC. She is a coordinator of various national and state forums. And this time she's contesting for Vice President Foxy from North Zone. So it is our duty for her to please all of you, my request, vote for her. Thank you.
Thank you, Neelam ji, for giving me such an honor and saying kind words. I have got no words to say thank you. To all the people who are logged in, please, this is my humble request to vote for me. Please. This is the only platform.
Madam, आपसे अच्छा कोई हो नहीं सकता है. So you are going to come out in thumping votes.
आप और डॉक्टर गीतेन जीते हुए.
चलिए, thank you.
डॉक्टर गीतेन शर्मा से कि आप जीत जाएंगे डॉक्टर साहब.
गीतेन भाई तो हमारे भाई है भाई.
We have got two dynamic buses and both of them are going to win. So heartiest congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
Now I request Dr.
I'm
Archana.
feeling so blessed. I'm feeling so blessed.
Now I request Dr. Archana to read out the CV of Dr. Geetendra, a learned speaker. Dr. Archana Bhattacharyya, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
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 It's a proud privilege to introduce Dr. Jiten Sharma. He's a practicing gynecologist and obstetrician in Ahmedabad for past 28 years, and he is MD in Obs and Gynae. He's a medical legal counselor. He's done his 15 gold medals and taught in Gujarat University in law. He has authored many books which have been published by AOGS and SOGOG. Law in Obstetrics and Gynetics Practices, Consents in Obstetrics and Gynetics, and Law a Doctor Must Know. He has given more than 1,500 lectures all over India. He is a chairperson, Ethics and Medical Legal Committee, FOXI 2017-19. He is president, AOGS 2016-17, and has hosted AICOG in 2017 January. He is Honorary Joint Secretary, SOGOG 2017-19. He is a member, PCPN DT Cell and NIMC Team FOXI. He is a medical legal consultant, DNS Medical Legal Consultancies, and he is a candidate, Vice President, West Zone FOXI, election year 2020, for which I wish him all the best. You are most welcome, Dr. Geeten Sharma.
If I'm allowed, I can say one word. My secretary was here, Dr. Nisha. Is she left? Yes. Dr. Nisha, okay. She may be left. She is also contesting. She is also contesting for the post of chairperson oncology committee.
Okay.
Yes.
Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you, madam. Thank you
Yes.
for that.
Where are you? I can't see you.
Welcome, Dr. Madhulumba. Welcome, Dr. Madhulumba, madam. Now I think we can hand over the mic to Dr. Geeten for his excellent talk, for enlightening us.
Yes, waiting to listen to him.
Thank you very much. First of all, to everybody in Kanpur. And at the outset, I will like to thank Dr. Rita Mittal, Madam, for organizing webinar on such a hot topic. So everybody has this in their mind. So we will definitely try to unveil the thinking and actually what is the situation we will put forward in front of you. Thank you, Kanpur Obstetric and Gynecological Society, Dr. Neelam Mishra Madam, Dr. Secretary Madam, Dr. Kiran Sinha Madam. And whenever I used to come to Kanpur, I always say that I miss Dr. Madhulumba Madam. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I always remember one of my senior and mentor, I can say, Dr. Meera Agnihotri Madam, although I don't think she has joined today. So thank you, Lucknow Obstetric and Gynecological Society, for giving me this opportunity, Dr. Yashodhara Madam and Dr. Nisha Madam. And whenever I have anything in eastern part of UP, see, Gonda is my Sasural, and many of my relatives are residing in Kanpur, Ayodhya, and Allahabad. So whenever I come to East UP, I feel like that I am in my Sasural. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to interact with all of you. Today, our topic, thanks for kind introduction, madam.
Yes,
and
recording आ रहा है. चल रहा है recording.
Today our topic is Consumer Protection Act 2019 and Consumer Protection Rules 2020. What are they? So let us understand why there is a issue for this. So friends, whenever all problems in our OPD we are supposed to face. Bachte bachate, we have to complete the day. So we don't know which patient will create problem for us. And one more thing we used to tell in start of our lecture, that ignorance of law is no excuse. So we cannot say that I didn't know this law and that's why something has happened. And that's why prevention is always better than cure. So we have to prevent the litigation only by getting the proper knowledge. So if you have proper knowledge, only then you can prevent the litigation. Consumer Protection Act 2019. Let us see what was the basic behind it. See, Consumer Protection Act, it was started, the process started around 2011 and 2012. But the process was slow, it was not passed, and in 2018, it got passed in Lok Sabha on 20th December 2018. Later on, it was passed in Rajya Sabha after deliberation, after discussion, and it was published in Gazette by central government on 9th of August 2019. So many things were told that we are supposed to oppose this and that, but at that time nobody was that much eager to look into this, and that's why it got gazetted on 9th August 2019. So this was the gazette passed by government. The Consumer Protection Act 2019, the basic object of this act was, this is to provide for protection of the interest of consumers, and for the said purpose to establish authorities for timely and effective administration and settlement of consumers' dispute, and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. So this was the basic object, that to protect the consumer's right, this act has been enacted. Now we all know that in 2019, when this act was gazetted, or discussion was going on in 2018 in Parliament, so we got a news, and in Times of India, we got a news that health care is now out of the purview of this new CPA Act. So Consumer Bill draft removes health care from services. So there is a definition of service given in this act, and from that definition, the word health care was removed. So that was the. Now there was a press statement given by Indian Medical Association that on 24th June 2019, the government has taken decision to remove the word healthcare from the definition of service. So Indian Medical Association congratulated every member, and they rejoiced that healthcare is now no more under Consumer Protection Act. Then rules were framed, and those rules were put on 11th November on site for taking the comments of stakeholders. After this process got over, on 15th July of this month only, that is 10 days back, these rules were gazetted. And I don't know the reason behind it, that there is not a single rule which is enacted, but bulk of rules are coming every day. Today only we got one new rule, that is the rule regarding e-commerce. So on 15th only, there were different pieces of rules. Now rules are being produced by the government in pieces. So this has happened very first time, that something is being published in pieces, and it is very difficult to know that what is the exact rule the government is going to promulgate. So this is one piece of rule, that is 448E GSR. This is another GSR 452E, which says that what is the qualification of president and sitting member, and there are multiple kinds of such rules which are coming up every day. So this is the latest notification. So basically, to understand what is CPA and what are CPA rules, see, we all know the laws are made in Parliament. Parliament makes the law, and that law is implemented or interpreted, what we can say is construed by a court. So what is written in law is interpreted by a court. Okay. So following this, whenever any question arises that what is there in the law, then court will take decision that what is the meaning of this particular section in the law. Now, whenever any question arises against law, court has to go into legislative history. So court has to go into detail that when this act was framed in parliament, what kind of discussions were done and what kind of objections were raised, what was the exact discussion and what was the exact purpose of implementing this law. We all know a discussion done in parliament at the time of framing law is also taken into consideration, and it is seen by the court that what is the intention of the members who frame the law. So these all things will be seen into it. Now, we all know in history, this CPA was enacted, previous CPA was enacted in 1986. Now in 1986, when it was enacted, the healthcare word was not the part of that 1986 Act. So word healthcare was not there. But unfortunate case of IMA versus VP Shanta, decision came in 1994-95, and in that decision, the Supreme Court 3-judge bench said that doctors are to be considered as service provider, and they should be considered in the definition of service, and patients should be considered as consumer. The two words were discussed, service for contract and service of contract. And ultimately, the Supreme Court has defined that there is a contract in between patient and doctor, and that contract is service for contract. And that's why the doctors are to be considered service provider and consumer are to be these patients are to be considered as consumer. So doctors were included after this judgment as a service provider under Consumer Protection Act. And after that, you all know that various decisions are coming. In 1999, the amount of compensation in medical negligence case, in the case of V. Chandrasekhar versus Apollo Hospital, Chennai, in that case, the amount of compensation was 19 lakhs rupees, 19 lakhs rupees. But in 2009, that amount rose to 1 crore rupees in case of Prashant Dhananka versus Nizam Institute of Medical Sciences of Hyderabad. And we all know that in 2013, a case was decided against Amri Hospital, Calcutta, the case of Dr. Anuradha Saha, who died of TEN, that is skin disease, in Breach Candy Hospital, who took previous treatment at Amri Hospital. And in that case, 5.796 crore rupees compensation was granted against Amri Hospital. And with interest, the amount rose to 11.76 crore rupees. So the amount of compensation against doctors for medical negligence or deficiency of service is increasing day by day. Now, in 2018, when this bill was framed, the government discussed that as IMA versus VP Shanta case, as per Supreme Court decision, the word healthcare should be added because doctors are already there in the purview of Act. So they must be added. So in 2018 bill, our government in Lok Sabha, the bill was put, and in which two words were added, telecom and healthcare. Then the discussion held in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and from CPA bill, this word healthcare was removed on 24th June 2019. Now, when Act came in August 2019, the word healthcare was removed and it was not there in CPA Act. Okay. So, dear friends, in CPA 1986, the definition of service, section 2O, did not include healthcare, although, but in 1995, the decision came and we were included in the definition of service. Again, in 2018 bill, 2 words were added, telecom and healthcare, and so many objections were raised in parliament in both houses, and our representation by IMA was done, and due to that representation in CPA Act, the word healthcare was removed. Now, looking to the history, as I have said, that whenever the word this question comes in the court of law, that whether healthcare is there or not. So, dear friends, now 1986 Act is repealed. Now 1986 Act is not there, and the decision of IMA versus VP Shanta is definitely there. It is not till date overruled. So the situation today is, it is very difficult to interpret that whether healthcare is now included under CPA or not. Now, whenever any case will be filed against any doctor, and what stand district commission or state commission or national commission takes, only after that it can be decided that whether healthcare is now there inside CPA or not. But definitely this is the best opportunity to get and to fight once again after IMA versus VP Shanta, to represent our stand unitedly. And whenever such question will arise, the question will arise that what was the discussion held in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha at the time when this CPA 2019 was framed. Now let us see what was the discussion in
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं। और ये भी वो अपने आप में एक जो है सो ऐतिहासिक हो चुके 33 साल के बाद क्या कहते हैं कि आ रहा है। और मैं प्रत्येक सब सदस्यों ने जो है अपनी अपनी बातों को कहा है, जिस तरीके से कहा है। मैंने पहले भी क्या इस पर गंभीरता से विचार किया है। अब जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल है डॉक्टर के संबंध में, हमारे एक साथी ने क्या कहते हैं वहां से कहा कि जो है जो मेडिकल है हेल्थ केयर, वो हेल्थ केयर को क्यों नहीं रखा गया समझने के। मैं भी सोच रहा था कि हेल्थ केयर को जो है रखना चाहिए, लेकिन उन्होंने कहा 1995 का जो एक्ट है सुप्रीम कोर्ट का है, उस सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी कहा था क्या कहते हैं इसको रखना, क्या कहते हैं कि रखना चाहिए। और इसके जो पहले वाला बिल था 2018 का उसमें था, लेकिन जाकर के राज्यसभा में जो है उसको क्या कहते हैं पास नहीं किया गया, क्योंकि एक कारण से एक मेजोरिटी नहीं हो। लेकिन दूसरी बात क्या कहते हैं कि जो है फिर हमने उन लोगों को बुलाया, वहां अपने मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट भी हैं, हमने उनसे पूछा कि आप क्यों इसका क्या कहते हैं विरोध कर रहे हो। उन्होंने कुछ बातें कही कि हमको भी लगा कि इस पर विचार करने लायक क्या कहते हैं कि है, इसलिए हमने उसमें मेंशन नहीं किया है। ये नहीं है कि हमने हटाया नहीं है, रखा नहीं है। उन्होंने कहा कि साहब अभी तो डॉक्टर के यहाँ कोई जाता है तो डॉक्टर आंख मूंद के लिखता है कि आपके सर में दर्द है, खांसी है, ये दवाई हम दे देंगे। लेकिन जिस दिन उसको लगेगा कि कहीं हमने खांसी का दवाई का दिया और यहाँ बीमारी दूसरा निकल गया, तो फिर बाद में क्या कहते हैं कि हमारे ऊपर में जब क्लेम आएगा तो कोई भी डॉक्टर जल्दी दवाई लिखेगा नहीं, और वो कहेगा कि पहले पूरा इन्वेस्टिगेशन करो, है ना। और इतना इन्वेस्टिगेशन में समय लग जाएगा, पैसा लग जाएगा कि उसको कहते हैं कि बहुत दिक्कत हो जाएगी। तो ये सब मानते हैं। इससे मैंने कहा कुछ बातें क्या कहते हैं कि जो है मैं सर्वप्रथम जो है राजेंद्र अग्रवाल जी हैं, रंजीत रेड्डी जी हैं, दुर्गा प्रसाद जी हैं, विष्णु प्रसाद जी हैं, वीरा स्वामी हैं, प्रतिमा मंडल जी हैं।
So basic thing what I want to convey here is that in Lok Sabha, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So basically what we have seen is the discussion in Lok Sabha. And in Lok Sabha, it was discussed in detail that even though there was decision of IMA versus VP Shanta, but at least more than 50 MPs took objection that healthcare word should not be there. And the mind was applied by parliamentarian. And after application of mind, they have come to the conclusion that if we will not keep healthcare out of the purview or the ambit of Consumer Protection Act, then the situation, the day will come that the doctor will not give treatment without doing multiple investigation to safeguard themselves. And that will create a problem overall in the society. And after due deliberation, after due discussion, this healthcare word was removed from this CPA. So if we go to the intention of the framer of the law, again I will say that this is the Rajya Sabha. In Rajya Sabha, what happened? Let us look at what happened in Rajya Sabha.
The Consumer Protection Bill 2019, time allotted as per records is 4 hours. Sri Ram Vilas Paswanji to move a motion for consideration of the Consumer Protection Bill.
महोदय, आपत्ति भी की थी और वो आपत्ति जो है एक मुद्दे को लेकर के था, पता नहीं है कि नहीं है वो, तो वो था हेल्थ केयर को लेकर के। ये हेल्थ केयर को जो है इसमें जो है क्यों क्या कहते हैं कि जोड़ा गया है, तो जो हेल्थ केयर सेवा में जो है सर्विसेज में स्वास्थ्य सेवा को भी हेल्थ केयर को भी जोड़ा जाए, इसके संबंध में जो है 1995 में सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जजमेंट है मेरे पास में, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने अपने जजमेंट में कहा था कि इसमें से हेल्थ केयर को भी क्या कहते हैं कि अलग नहीं किया जाए, जोड़ा जाए। जो फ्री में ट्रीटमेंट करते हैं या सरकारी हॉस्पिटल हैं उसको छोड़ करके, लेकिन जो बकिए हैं उसको इसमें जो है रखने का क्या कहते हैं कि काम जो है सो किया जाए। उसके बाद हम लोगों ने जो है उसी आधार पर जो है उस बिल को में जो है हेल्थ केयर को रखा था, लेकिन यहाँ काफ़ी माननीय सदस्यों ने जो है उसको क्या कहते हैं कि लेकर के शंकाएं व्यक्त की, मांग किया। इस बार के बिल में हमने उसको जो है कोई कंट्रोवर्सी नहीं हो, बिल ज़्यादा दिन तक लटका नहीं रहे, उसको हम लोगों ने जो है उसमें से गौण रखा है। अभी हालांकि लोकसभा में जब डिबेट हुआ था तो काफ़ी माननीय सदस्यों ने, हर पार्टी के लोगों में थे, गालाजी वगैरह, मतलब नाम नहीं लेना चाहते हूँ सदस्य, उन लोगों ने मांग किया था कि नहीं जैसे क्यों आपने हटाया, इसको भी क्या कहते हैं कि रखा जाना चाहिए था। लेकिन उसमें क्या कहते हैं कि जो है हम लोगों ने क्या कहते हैं कि जो है उसको इसमें नहीं रखा है। तो इसके बाद जो है सो और पिछली बार जो है सो यहाँ 13 फरवरी को लिस्टेड हुआ था, लेकिन कोई डिस्कशन नहीं हो सका और उसके कारण से क्या कहते हैं कि पास नहीं क्या कहते हैं हो पाया। और उसके बाद जो है ये जो है जो अपने आप को मैंने बताया था कि 2 बार क्या कहते हैं गया हुआ स्टैंडिंग कमेटी में, तो इसमें जो प्रमुख क्या कहते हैं कि बातें हैं वो प्रमुख बातें हैं। एक तो जो हमारा जो कंज्यूमर जो
So dear friends, after looking to the discussion in Rajya Sabha also, now it was clearly seen that the Honorable Minister is saying that if we will not remove the word healthcare from the purview of this CPA Act, then it was not going to be passed. That means majority of Rajya Sabha members were against healthcare word to be kept in CPA. So that means that if they would have put healthcare word in CPA, then this act would not have been passed in Rajya Sabha. So this wordings of our minister clearly mentions that the intention of our parliament is clear that healthcare or doctors should not be under CPA. So, and once it was decided by that the healthcare word should be removed, only after that this act got passed in both the houses. So the intentions are clear. So basically, if any case is filed against any of our colleagues now in district commission or state commission or in national commission, then it is a very good case to defend if any case is filed against our colleague. Now, if healthcare is not there in CPA, then no further discussion is required in this lecture. But as we are not sure the stand of today, so I think that I should keep into your knowledge, or I should increase your knowledge that what is there in CPA 2019. So if applicable, then what will be the situation? Since we all know that the pecuniary jurisdiction is being changed now in 2019 Act. Previously in 1986 Act, the provisions were different, but in 2003, when amendment were done, the amount of this pecuniary jurisdiction was up to 20 lakhs in cases were filed in district commission, district forum. Then if the compensation value of service, goods or services, or the compensation demanded was in between 20 lakhs to 1 crore, then cases were directly filed in state commission. And if the compensation demanded or the service value of services or goods was above 1 crore, then cases were directly filed in national commission. So this was the pecuniary jurisdiction. Now, dear friends, in 2019, this pecuniary jurisdiction is changed. But again, there is a confusion. See, there are two things are important. In 1986 Act, there were two words used, where the value of goods or services and the compensation, if any, claimed. So there are two words. Okay. But in 2019 Act, the word compensation claimed is missing, means it is removed. So now the pecuniary jurisdiction will only depend upon the value of the goods or services. Now, value of services means if the patient pays doctor, that is the value of service. So no doctor will ever charge any patient more than 1 crore rupees. And now the jurisdiction of district commission is up to 1 crore rupees. 1 crore to 10 crore will be state commission, and about 10 crore the cases will be filed in national commission. So according to the interpretation of these wordings, that pecuniary jurisdiction will depend on the value of services and goods now, and not on the value of compensation demanded. So every case against doctor will be filed first in district commission now, as per this, as per the understanding. So, and now I don't think that any case will directly go into state national commission, because the jurisdiction of national commission is where value of service is more than 10 crore rupees. So no patient will ever pay 10 crore rupees as a bill to any hospital. So every case will be filed mostly in district commission. Now local jurisdiction is also expanded in this act. Such complaints can can be filed electronically also. So complainant now can file complaint electronically also. So by sitting at home, they can file complaint in consumer court. Previously in 1986, there were only 3 provisions that patient can file case where opposite party, means doctor, resides, or doctor do the business, means where the hospital is situated. So where the cause of action arise, means where the operation was done. So basically the patient was allowed to file case only at the place where she or he has taken the treatment. But now in 2019 Act, the 4th D, subsection D is been added, and it is said that patient can complain from where the complainant resides or personally works for gain. So that means if patient is from Kerala and you are in Kanpur, so being in Kanpur, if you treat the patient and if something happens to the patient, that patient can file a case against you in Kerala District Commission, and you will have to go to Kerala District Commission to defend yourself. So there will be a grim situation in this. Now again, there is a problem in this act. See, 1986 Act, there was a provision regarding qualification of sitting members, qualification of president under CPA. See, in Consumer Protection Act at District Forum, there is one president and minimum 2 members. Then in State and National Commission, there is one president and not less than 4 members in one sitting this court commission. Now, there was a different section in 1986 Act that what should be the qualification of president, what should be the qualification of sitting members, and how they are nominated. So there was a provision of selection committee in Act itself. But dear friends, this section is now removed from the Act. So this is not the part of Act. Now they have removed this, all the things, that is the qualification of president and sitting member and who will be the member of selection committee to select the sitting member. So these all sections are removed from the Consumer Protection Act. And now in Consumer Protection Act, they have written that whatever central government will feel, they will make rules and regulation regarding the appointment of president and the members, and they will decide that what will be the selection committee. Recently, on 15th July, government has come out with multiple, this is the first time I have seen that multiple rules are coming every day. And in one of the rules that was in the Gazette 452E, it is said that what is the qualification of sitting member and president. And in that notification, although the same thing which was there in 1986 Act is written, but what was the need to remove it from the Parent Act, and what was the need to put it in rules? So basically the intention of government doesn't look nice here, because to remove Act and to add it in rules which can be easily amended, that means the intention of government are doesn't look good. Now, as something is been written in rule, so it can be argued that prescribing the qualification through rules may be an excessive delegation of power. So basically, the Parliament, when make the Act, if some qualification of selection committee provision are put, see, I have gone through multiple acts. PCPNDT Act is there, then different other acts are also there. Previously, CPA 1986 was there. So in all the acts, the provision of appointment of these authorities, appropriate authorities, are always the part of Act itself. Now, why they are removed from the Act, and now why have they have put in rules? Again, doubt against the intention of government. The Act empowers the central government to appoint, remove, and prescribe condition of services of members also. So basically, the independence of judiciary seems to be violated here, because the selection committee, which is going to be formed, again this Act leaves the composition of commissions to the central government. So in future, this could affect the independence of this quasi-judicial body. Again, the selection committee, it is mentioned that there are 3 members in this selection committee. One will be the judiciary member, definitely, but other 2 members are the secretaries. Means they must be from some IAS or IPS person, from the executive. Okay, so the majority will be executive. And the provision in this Act is mentioned that selection committee will recommend the panel to government, and out of that panel, the government will decide that who is to be appointed. So basically, the executive power overcomes the judiciary here. So the basic compartment of legislative, judiciary, and executive are not maintained. And here, executives have given power over and above judiciary, and the independence of judiciary is at stake. Again, in one of the judgments, Supreme Court has clearly mentioned that with regard to appellate tribunals, such as the National Tax Tribunal, the Supreme Court has held that they have similar power and function as that of high courts, and hence matters related to appointment and tenure must be free from executive involvement. Now, here selection committee contains executive member. So the bill is not in line with the direction of Supreme Court. Again, Consumer Protection Council, it is also a I can say political body, because ministers will be the member, and the power of recommendation to improve this act will be with them. To whom they will advise, in what capacity they will advise, is not made clear in the act itself. Central Consumer Protection Authority. Now, although till date there is no rules which have come out for this particular section. Why, I don't know, but they have not been rules regarding Central Consumer Protection Authority is now not yet framed. But it is also said that central authority to regulate matters relating to violation of rights of consumers, unfair trade practice, and false or misleading advertisements which are prejudicial to the interest of public and consumer, and to promote, protect, and enforce the right of consumer as a class. So there will be a separate authority of this separate authority. When consumer forum are there, commissions are there to handle all kinds of matter, what is the need, separate need to develop such appropriate authorities? And again, central government is empowered to appoint and to decide conditions of appointment directly. So ultimately, it seems that it will be a politicization of the act, and there are all the chances that it may be misused in future. Even the consumer, this authority, this Central Consumer Central Consumer Protection Authority are being awarded a right to sue. So they can suo moto, sue doctor in consumer courts or in consumer fora for these purposes. So even patient may not file case against you, but these kind of authorities which are nominated by central government can directly file a case against doctor or anybody in regard to violation of consumer rights. Now every right which is violated, for that consumer fora is already there. What is the need of this separate authority? Now, what is unfair trade practice? Although they have tried to define it exhaustively, but we all know that what kind of interpretation the court will do. The recent case we all have seen, the case of Vinod Khanna versus RG Stone Hospital in Delhi, in which the pre-printed uniform consent was considered as unfair trade practice. Now, if you read the definition of unfair trade practice, this kind of things never gets fit anywhere in unfair trade practice. So anybody will define, or there will be a great discretionary power to the court to fit something in unfair trade practice because it is not exhaustively defined. Now, false or misleading advertisement. Now, what is the meaning of false and misleading advertisement? Again, is not clear. See, in Kerala, there was a case decided by State Medical Council. Before this telemedicine, the doctor, he developed one website of his own. Now it was considered in State Medical Council that doctor cannot start their own website. Otherwise, it will be considered as advertising. So basically, it is not exhaustively defined that what amounts to advertisement and what amounts to misleading advertisement. And when something is not perfectly defined, to punish for that particular thing is unreasonable. Vast powers are being given to Central Consumer Protection Authority. For first violation, they can award up to 10 lakhs rupees punishment. And for subsequent violation, this penalty may extend up to 50 lakhs rupees. This is exorbitant, I can say. And they vast powers that they can impose penalty for false and misleading advertisement. they may file complaints before the Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission against you directly suo moto. And advertise, already there is one body for stopping somebody for misleading advertisement, that is Advertising Standard Council of India. Already one body is there. Now one more body will be there who can file complaint against you directly in consumer fora. Now words not defined exhaustively. See, a few words are used in the CPA, that is unfair or restrictive trade practice, although it is defined in this act, but it is not exhaustively defined. It is not clear from the definition. So that's why anything can be fit by the on the discretion of court, that what is to be considered as unfair trade practice. The word used is excessive pricing. Now again, pricing word is defined, excessive pricing word is defined in the act, but in reference to medical science, it is not clear that what amounts to excessive pricing. Now, suppose a lawyer takes 5 lakhs rupees for one appearance. Is it excessive or not? Suppose another lawyer takes only 5,000 rupees for one appearance. So what is excessive is not defined. So it is said that something in excess to what you have contracted. So that means you are now supposed to clarify with each and every patient that what kind of financial settlement you have contracted with the patient. And if you will charge more than that, even a single paisa, if you charge more than that, that will be considered as excessive pricing. Maybe in future, government has something in their mind to cap your charges or cap your fee, because in Clinical Establishment Act, the government has already tried to cap your consulting fee. In Assam, in their Clinical Establishment Act, they capped the consulting fee for 400 rupees only. They had tried to do the same thing in Karnataka Private Medical Establishment Act. And although due to opposition, they could not implement it. So dear friends, all penalties are intensified. See, previously in 1986 Act, if you do not comply order of consumer fora, then there was the provision of punishment up to 1 month of imprisonment, which may extend up to 3 years, and fine from 2,000 to 10,000 rupees. But now the provision has changed, and now fine is increased from rupees 20,000 to 1 lakh rupees. For non-compliance of Central Consumer Protection Authority order, there is provision, separate provision of imprisonment up to 6 months or a fine up to 20 lakhs rupees. So the body which will be directly nominated by the Government of India, and till date no rules have come regarding this Central Consumer Protection Authority, and vast powers are being given to this authority, and it is not clear that whether any judicial member is going to head this CCPA or executive people will be given the authority to head CCPA. CCPA will give the investigating, they have the power to investigate into case, and that investigation will be done by the collector. So they can ask collector to investigate into case. So that means the executive are going to overcome judiciary to and take over all these things, and due to that there are all the chances that the act may be misused, and there are all the chances that whenever there are more powers given, then there are the chances of corruption. Misleading advertisement, for that, for first punishment up to 10 lakhs can be awarded, and for subsequent up to 50 lakhs rupees punishment, and imprisonment up to 2 years, and which may extend to 5 years in case of every subsequent offense. So basically what is misleading advertisement again is not clearly defined. What is unfair trade practice is not clearly defined, and they have tried to put something like that failure to issue a bill or receipt. Now suppose you have received more than 50 rupees from somebody, and if you do not issue bill or receipt to the patient, it will amount to unfair trade practice, and you can be punished up to 10 lakhs rupees punishment. So basically, and in these rules, CPA rules, in one of the rules, they have provided a format of bill, that what should be the content of bill. So you are bound to give certain information in bill itself. Personal information given in confidence unless required by law or in public interest. Now, what amounts to breach of confidentiality is nowhere defined. The same thing happens in MTP Act. In MTP Act, what is breach of confidentiality is nowhere defined. So suppose you prescribe some medicine to the patient with the name on a chit, suppose MTP pill, you write on prescription paper, and patient goes to pharmacist to take the medicine and see the name of the patient. So that means the confidentiality of the patient is violated, because here the pharmacist comes to know that this patient is undergoing abortion under MTP Act. So whether this amount to breach of confidentiality, now suppose some police person comes to your clinic and asks for the case paper of patient, whether you should give it or not. If you give it to police, whether it will amount to violation of confidentiality or not. In one of the case in Telangana Medical Council, one patient doctor gave information of a lady to her own husband, and later on that lady said that as you had given my information to my husband, he asked for divorce. Why did you divulge my information for what I was taking treatment in the hospital to my husband? And that is wrong. So that amounts to breach of confidentiality. And in Telangana Medical Council, it was considered that even you cannot provide information to husband regarding the treatment what his wife is taking in the hospital without permission of the wife. Now, if that kind of confidentiality is to be mentioned, and if that disclosure of personal information will be considered as violation of confidence, then it will be very difficult to practice in day to day. Only good thing here is the mediation. Now, in this Consumer Protection Act, there is provision that whenever a case is admitted in the court, commission, whether it is district commission, state commission, or national commission, first of all, the sitting member of the commission will ask both the parties that whether they want to take benefit of mediation cell, and if they want to settle the case outside the court, then within 5 days they will appoint mediator, official mediator, and through mediation they can settle their case. But if they refuse, then after 5 days that case will be admitted, and then the procedure will start in the commission. So there will be compulsory offer for mediation, for the help of mediation cell in all the cases under Consumer Protection Act. So dear friends, you saw the actual slide which shows that how medical legal person can help doctors to cross the road where they are not sure regarding the laws which will affect them. Many new things are coming, many new things already have come, but I can't say that we have not objected them, but we are not successful in objecting that. Clinical Establishment Act is there, although many states have not yet implemented that act, but someday they will implement. So Clinical Establishment Act, there are so many harsh provision in that. National Medical Council, we all know that there is now very limited representation of doctor from each state, and that is also on alternate basis. MTB Amendment Act. Although we all rejoice this act, that we are going to now going to be allowed to do MTP up to 24 weeks, and many good things are there. Even after 24 weeks, if this medical board, district medical board will allow you, then you will be able to terminate. So many good things are there, but there is one bad thing also, which we should at least try to fight against. There is a provision that for breach of confidentiality, till date, there is only provision of 1,000 rupees fine. But in new MTB Amendment Act, now they have increased this. This has made this breach of confidentiality is made now criminal offense, and there is provision of 1 year imprisonment for breaching the confidentiality under MTP Act. And the tragedy is that what amounts to breach to confidentiality is not defined in MTP Act at all. There are a few provisions under PCPNDT Act which are completely illogical and illegal. I can quote section 23 subsection 2 says that if doctor is being charge sheeted, so only on charge sheet, although it has not been convicted yet, so only on charge sheet the authority can recommend the name of the doctor to be removed to the State Medical Council for 5 years. So only on recommendation. See, the fun of the case, this kind of law, that even some politician who is in jail but who is not been convicted, even if he is in jail, he can fight election. He is allowed to file election till he is convicted. So, but doctors who are not still convicted, only charge sheeted, are not allowed to profess their profession, which is their fundamental right. So such kind of illogical sections are there in PCPNDT Act. We all know the new code of conduct included, that is 18 subsection A, in which section 4 subsection 2, it clearly mentioned that if a case is pending against doctor under PCPNDT Act or rules, then the registration of that center should not be renewed. Now, in India, the cases continue for 20 years. So can you prohibit somebody for 20 years, and after 20 years, if suppose doctor is acquitted, then who will pay the compensation for prohibiting doctor to profess the profession for 15 years? So these kind of provisions must definitely be fought in a proper manner. The surrogacy bill, we all know, surrogacy regulation bill 2020. Again, there are many controversial things in that, and we must unite, we must fight against that. ART draft bill also is in pipeline. Sooner or later it is going to come. We all know that in 2017 bill, there were so many illogical things. In 2017 bill, in one section, it was said that you cannot retrieve more than 7 eggs from a oocyte donor. And immediately after that, it was written that you can share it in 2 patients, but individuals should get 7. Now, when you are not able to retrieve as per law more than 7, then how can you share 7 each? So there are so many discrepancies in different section of same act and same rules also in ART draft bill, and definitely there is need to fight against all these kinds of provisions. Dear friends, whenever I use my lecture, I always tell that to protect yourself, to protect your community, you must get united. Otherwise, somebody will come and you all will sink. So, if you want to save yourself from the government and from these illogical laws, then you must unite and you must fight together. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Jiten, for a wonderful talk. But we have all gone in depression listening to so many negative things.
Madam, our purpose is not, see, what we are doing is, when I started my campaign, madam, for vice president, can you mute everybody? See, when I started my campaign for vice presidentship, I had kept motto and I had kept 4 P's. First P was that I want prevention of litigation. Means I want to give more and more knowledge to my colleague so that after getting that knowledge, they can prevent the litigation. Second, even after preventive approach, if something happens, then second P is the protective approach. We will protect our fraternity members from the litigation. And third thing is progression. So after preventing and protecting our colleague, we always progress together. And last but not least, the fourth P is that we want to propagate fear-free practice. So if you have knowledge of law, you will be able to do fear-free practice. And this lecture is to give, the purpose of this lecture is to give you knowledge that what is happening actually, so that what you should do to protect yourself and not to create fear amongst you. So what we say that you should do fear-free practice and not to have any kind of fear of law. But whenever something wrong is there in the law, then you all should get together and you should all object to that particular section of the act.
It was very nice. It was a beautiful lecture. Really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Dr. Gaurav is there?
Geeten bhai.
Ji, madam.
As always.
Thank you, madam. Thank you,
We are together for a long time. We are together for a long time.
Any
and
questions?
We have made one change also. And if we're coming together, we make more changes.
Any questions, madam?
Neelam madam will have to mute herself.
Dr. Madhu, please mute yourself.
Unmute
Dr.
yourself.
Madhu. Dr. Madhu Lumba, mute yourself.
Unmute.
Unmute yourself, yes. Can somebody do it for her?
I think Ashish can do it. Ashish.
No, she will have to do, because we have already unmuted her. Now she has muted from her side.
Okay. Should I call her up?
Yeah, she'll have to unmute, because once she is unmuted, then she'll be able to.
मैं उनको कॉल कर रहा हूँ.
Any questions? How can we fight so many problems?
To fight any problems, we all know that whenever government comes out with any law against advocate, okay, then they never get successful. They never become successful. The reason is that lawyers are so much united and they fight against it together. The problem with our community is that we are not united. And our approach is always patient, considerate. We cannot go on strike. And even if we go on strike, more than 50% members, we find all in OPDs. We do not want to spoil our OPD, even though we are all in strike. So the problem is unity. If you all get united, then you can fight with anybody. See, healthcare is the sector where if you unite, you can create anything of this world, because you are required daily. There is daily requirement of doctors in their day-to-day life. So,
but actually the doctors should be given place in making rules and laws. They are missing. This is all the bureaucrats which are making the laws.
Madam, basically, what I understand is that our bodies are being to be supported, and they should unitedly fight for the fraternity. The problem, what is the problem? I will tell you. In 2005, there was a decision. You all know that was the decision of Jacob Matthews versus State of Punjab. Now, after that decision, see the Supreme Court, all three judges, Justice Lahoti, Justice Balasubramaniam, and Justice Mathur, they gave very nice judgment. And they gave guidelines that no FIR should be filed against doctor directly unless it is associated with some expert opinion. Second observation, the guideline was that even if somebody wants, some police officer want to file FIR, he has to seek opinion of unbiased doctor from the government hospital which are nearby of the same fraternity. So, and if that doctor's opinion that doctor is negligent, only then FIR can be filed. Now, in that judgment, the Supreme Court, all three judges said that IMA or MCI, in association with state government and central government, should develop such regulations and rules to protect their fraternity members. Now, the Supreme Court has given you the authority, but even after 15 years, we have not developed any guidelines. We have not come out with any guidelines to protect our fraternity members. So this is the problem. So we have to come out with such guidelines, and then only we can save ourselves.
Any comments from Dr. Yashodhara?
Yes.
Dr. Yashodhara comment?
Yes. Thank you, Doctor, for giving me the opportunity. I just request humble vote and support for my Vice President North Zone Foxy for your precious vote. And I'll do in the academic front and the contraception, which is the most needed part of our country, is the population stabilization. So if I will be given a chance, I'll work for it. For the one is a woman should decide for her contraception. So my body, I decide. Then postgraduate skill enhancement. Because now we see that there is a need of the skill force program. PG Force program is a very good program which is going on. So skill make it a hands-on training. And third is the propagation for the telemedicine. Because this COVID is not going to go away. So we have to see that how we can help our pregnant women and other women also, because it is not the pregnant women. We see that so many people whom I have seen 3-4 months ago, they for myomectomy, for infertility, for this, they just are roaming here and there.
They cannot. Okay, Neelam Mishra, any comments?
Dr. Geeten, very lucid lecture, and you have covered almost every part of Consumer Protection Act. And I hope you are going to become a margdarshak for our medical fraternity. I hope you will win and you will lead us to for saving us in every field of consumer forum.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
My best wishes to Geeten Bhai.
Thank you.
My best wishes. And I think you will open the eyes of all the our politicians.
कौन सा लेके आ रहे हो subject? Anyone else who wants to ask any question?
Dr. Rita.
Dr. Gaurav. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I?
Yes, yes.
There is one suggestion.
Dr. Sharma.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Yes.
Thank you for an excellent talk. This is Dr. A.C. Agarwal.
जी.
डॉक्टर मिश्रा बोल रहे थे कुछ? डॉक्टर एसके मिश्रा.
अग्रवाल साहब, आप एसी साहब बोल रहे हैं, फिर मैं बोलता हूँ.
नहीं, वो उनका वो खत्म हो गया, वो सिग्नल खत्म हो गया. आप बोलिए.
अच्छा. डॉक्टर शर्मा साहब नमस्कार. मैं डॉक्टर एसके मिश्रा, पास्ट प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ आईएमए कानपुर and Association of Surgeons of India.
जी sir.
And also right now I am Vice President of National Board of Examination and also member of Central Council of Health. It was wonderful lecture actually. And as you have very rightly pointed out in your very first slide, that ignorance of law is no excuse. And I think the biggest problem with we doctors is that we don't know the law. And you have very clearly clearly have given the description about the Consumer Protection Act 2019 and how it has been framed and where is the healthcare workers in this law, and if at all it is applicable to them, how the things would be. So I must compliment you on such a wonderful talk. I really heard you very keenly throughout my lecture, and it was wonderful, and you have presented it so well. Only thing I can add to it is, yes, we must stand united to project the interest of the medical fraternity in this field, and certainly we must protest against any inclusion of medical fraternity in the this Consumer Protection Act, which has never proved beneficial to the society. In fact, it has been detrimental to the society if the healthcare workers are included in that. So I totally agree what you have said, and we must stand united and fight against this Consumer Protection Act if it is applied to healthcare workers also. But at the same time, I must say that we all should know it, and we should try to fulfill all the criteria which a consumer or a patient expects from a healthcare professional, and that is important. So thank you very much for giving such wonderful talk.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Archana Bhadoria, you want to give some comments? Dr. Archana Bhadoria, are you there?
Hello.
I think.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, who's speaking?
I'm Dr. UC Sinha from Kanpur.
जी बोलिए सर.
हाँ. Dr. Jiten ji, बहुत अच्छा lecture था, and you have given a very nice presentation, and definitely you have aware most of the facts which are going to come in the near future. Your comment that prevention, protection, and progress, all the three, is very important. Definitely, for that you also told that probably making guidelines. It was very much decided earlier, 15 years before also, that we should make guidelines. And even today, we are not having definite guidelines for the definite causes, especially what will be the consent guidelines, how a consent should be taken, and how what will be the standard for the advertisements. There's duty of all the association and the national and the state bodies to make a draft of the guidelines, different guidelines, and it should be very much discussed with each and every person. Then it should be presented to the government. Only then, before we have to present ourselves with the definite guidelines, and guidelines have to be made by the experts, legal experts, and all the any particular committee at the state level or national level, and it should be presented to the. Only then we can say something to the government. My comment is that we should start with the. Although unity is very important, but making a proper guidance is also very important.
So, hello, can I just say a few words?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Dr. Nisha Singh from KGMU Lucknow. I'm also the secretary of the Lucknow OBG Society. Sir, I was really impressed with your talk, and it was a complete evaluation of the CPA Act, I must say. And especially the loopholes that you have found, the points which are not clearly defined, which need a clear definition. I think we need a leader like you who can actually work on those points. So, I mean, at present, of course, we understand whether we are really included or how things are going to move is really difficult to say. But at least we can work on those loopholes that you have found in this and maybe the other acts also. And we can go ahead, you know, strengthening them right from now. So I think it was a wonderful thing. And if we really have a leader like this in Foxy, then these things will be sorted out before they actually affect the people who will be, you know, prosecuted or something like that. So that is my comment on that. And thank you so much for this talk. And I'm also contesting for Chairperson Gynae Oncology Committee. So to the presidents and secretaries who are here, I would request a vote from you all, because only the office bearers and the president secretaries will be voting for me. Thank you so much. Thank
Sure,
you.
Nisha, sure. Our
Best of
blessing.
luck.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Gaurav Dubey, and I am the secretary of Indian Medical Association, Kanpur. I apologize for being late to join. Actually, there was a meeting at the commissioner's office. So I had a question in furthering the issue which was raised by Dr. UC Sinha, sir. You were talking about the guidelines which were there, and that IMA should be actively involved in framing those guidelines. So is there a forum or a platform where we can put our views, and is there something which can be put on the national level? Where do we put our suggestions, or are our suggestions still valid or not, or everything is going to be formatted by the politicians and bureaucrats?
Hello.
So that is,
Hello.
we should have a body. Our IMA should have a legal cell, and in that legal cell, pure knowledgeable person should be made the member. Not, it should not be a political body. So if you their services, then definitely we will be able to represent ourselves in a proper manner.
So for this suggestion, should we get in touch with the UP IMA or national IMA? How do we activate this thing?
See, this is a central law, so you national IMA has to take lead, no?
Hello.
Okay.
We cannot do anything.
Okay.
Hello.
Thank you, sir, and for a thank you for an
Gaurav?
excellent presentation.
Hello.
Ji, sir.
Yes.
I am Dr. Gulab Agarwal from Kanpur.
Boliye, sir.
We should file a PIL in the Supreme Court asking them to pass a contempt proceeding against the MCI, which has not formed the guidelines till so far.
Sir, MCI dissolve हो गया अब तो.
Then the IMA should come out.
Even MCI is dissolved now. Now there is NMC.
Hello.
The only question is that the Ministry of Health is there. The Supreme Court can pass a contempt proceeding against the Health Ministry itself. That's why the guidelines have not been formed till so far.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
This is Dr. AC Agarwal from Kanpur.
Boliye, sir.
I just wanted to say, compliment Dr. Sharma for an excellent talk, and they all have requested for ask that the doctor should be united. And I only think that behind every litigation there is some of the doctors. So doctors should never criticize their co-professional. That should be the aim. They should never speak even a single word against their co-professional. That is very important.
Yes.
Rather than being united, they should show they should never reflect any adversity, even if done, because to err is human. If somebody has made some mistake, don't ever point it out. And we should see that you can also make that mistake. So let us be united and let us never criticize our co-professional. That should be the dictum probably.
Yes.
Dr. Kiran Sinha, you want to say anything?
Dr. Kiran Sinha is now his left field.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. Okay. So I think anybody else left with any question?
Rita, may I say something?
Yes, yes, sure.
मैडम ऐसा है कि लीडरशिप और एकेडमिशियन या डॉक्टर ये दोनों साथ साथ नहीं चल सकते. हमें लेजिस्लेशन पे एंट्री मारनी होगी. आज नहीं, 10 साल बाद, 20 साल बाद, 30 साल बाद ये प्रॉब्लम हरदम आती रहेगी मेडिकल फैकल्टी के लिए. सो वी शुड गो इन द लेजिस्लेशन. लेजिस्लेशन में हमें जाना चाहिए. वी शुड गो फॉर इन द पॉलिटिक्स. एमपी बनना चाहिए, एमएलए बनना चाहिए, हमें लीड करना चाहिए मैडम. ये हम रोज यही करते रहते हैं और कुछ होता नहीं मैडम, है ना. और वी आर द very good pray for this administration, these politicians, everybody. गली का जो गुंडा होता है वो भी आपको परेशान करता है. ये सारी चीजें जब तक आप लेजिस्लेशन नहीं जाओगे, एक एग्जाम्पल आपको बता रहा हूँ मैडम, केजरीवाल जो है वो था वहाँ पे धरना कर रहे थे, सरकार ने कहा कि लेजिस्लेशन में आओ, उसने सरकार बनाई, आज दिल्ली में 3 साल से 5 साल से सरकार चला रहा है, तो हमें आना पड़ेगा ऊपर में. ये मेरा ऑडियंस से रिक्वेस्ट है.
चलिए, I think everybody is saturated and satisfied.
क्योंकि देखिए मैडम 60-65 साल तक प्रैक्टिस करिए, इसके बाद पॉलिटिक्स में जाइए ना, क्या परेशानी है. हम लोग तो मरते दम तक प्रैक्टिस करते रहे. व्हाट इज द फन ऑफ डूइंग इट? आपको पॉलिटिक्स में जाना चाहिए और आगे आना चाहिए.
सर आपको हम लोग सपोर्ट करेंगे, आप आ जाइए.
यस यस, आई विल कम.
Dr. Gaurav Dubey, you can conclude.
रिटायर होने के बाद आएंगे सर.
Thank you everybody for being here on this Saturday evening, and a very, very special thanks to Dr. Geetendra Sharma sir for sparing his time, and all the very best for your election, sir. And it was a very...
We need you badly. We need you badly, sir. You have to come.
I think a person of his stature and his and the knowledge, the amount of knowledge, which increasingly is getting important in these times for medical professionals, is really, really important, and it will be a big boon for all of us. I would also like to thank JB Chemicals and Pharmaceuticals for taking the trouble to organize this webinar, especially Mr. Ashish Pathak, who's here, and all his colleagues and everybody who has helped in conducting this webinar. And a very special thank to all of you for sparing time on this Saturday evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you everybody for allowing me and to allow me to interact with all doctors from Kanpur and Lucknow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Ashish ji, I think we can wind up.
Yes, sir. आशीष जी जरा फोन पे 1 मिनट बात कर लीजिएगा मेरे से.
जी. अच्छा, क्या सिजेरियन कोविड सस्पेक्ट में हुआ था?